Welcome to Everyday Math Homelink 1.5. The lesson today is how much TV did they watch? I will give you a moment to sit through and read the family note together. You should be trying to get some of the homework done around each other in the family home just to make sure that your student is doing the correct work. Now today's lesson, we are going to be looking at data and putting things into tally charts. The directions state that Paul asked some of his classmates how many hours they watched television over the weekend. His classmates reported the following numbers of hours: 1 hour, 3 hours, 1 hour, 5 hours, 0 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 hours, and again 3 hours. Now with that data, you are to make a tally chart for the data for number 1. The title of the tally chart is Time Spent Watching TV, and the numbers go in number order from 0 to 5. And then it asks you for a number of children. One of the ways that I like to do this is simply start with the first number and then cross it out as I go. So 1 hour, I put 1 in that tally line there for 1 hour. And simply go through and make the tally marks as you cross off. This way you don't get ahead of yourself or miss one of the numbers. Now make sure to let your student know that we prefer tally marks instead of check marks, because sometimes you'll see that the numbers get higher than 5, and when they do that you make 4 marks, and then your 5th mark actually goes through the other 4. So it's important that the students are doing tally marks for tally charts. So as you go through, just make sure that you hit every one. Oop, excuse me, I already made a little mistake. It's my oopsies for the day, as we tell the kids. And as they go through, make sure they're using pencil for this lesson so that if they do make a mistake, they can easily go through and erase, as I just did. And once the tally chart is done, you can move on to number 2. The question asks, what was the least or minimum number of hours watched? Now least is also a word for smallest. And one student watched 0 hours. Now although one student watched 5, they're looking at number of hours in the chart, so 0 is the correct answer. Number 3, what was the greatest maximum number of hours watched? So the most hours, there was one student that did watch 5 hours of television a day. That might be a little too much for 3rd graders. Number 4 asks, what is the range for the data? And they ask you blank hours. Remember that the range is the difference between the greatest number and the least. So you can actually take these two numbers and take 5, subtract it by 0, and that is 5. Number 5 asks you, what is the mode for the data? And they leave you the blank for hours. Remember that the mode is the number that occurs most often. So we look, through the number of children, and the most tally marks happened here with 4 tally marks, and that number of hours was 3 hours. What is the median for the data? So question number 6. Remember that the median is the number in the middle. So I like to tell the students to count the numbers first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I want them to try to find the middle number. So when they go through, start with 0 and 5, they can get rid of those. That'll help them. 0 and 5, 1 and 4, and that leaves us with 2 and 3. When you have an odd number, or an even number, you can take both 2 or 3. I will accept either answer in this instance. If you were to have an odd set of data, so if they would have had a 6 for number of hours, the middle number would have been 3. But because of that, we will take either 2 or 3 because it is the 2 middle numbers, 2.5 to be precise. If you have any questions on this home link, please contact me at any time through email or by phone. Thank you.